Good evening, everyone. We'll call the meeting to order. This is our 6 o'clock study session. We have 2 study sessions tonight. Thank you all for being here. I think the first on the agenda is the ARP Reading Corps. Rana, you going to lead us off? All right, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. It's our chance to say thank you for believing in the AARP Reading Achieve Pinnell program and really creating a home for this effort. It would not have happened without you. You've given over 400 students the key to success in school and life, the ability to read. Eventually, those students will marry, have families, stay in Casa Grande. I don't think it's a stretch to imagine that 1,500 lives will be significantly improved by your actions. Jerry's going to tell you about the expansion plans that we have, which are based on a grant we received from the state of Arizona. I'm pleased to tell you that the expansion will not diminish our commitment to Casa Grande Elementary School District or to the city of Casa Grande. My role as the chair of Pinnell Alliance helps me view opportunities from the economic development point of view. I believe that helping students to read throughout Pinnell County will only increase the pool of job-ready employees for your strong industrial base. I want to thank you for inviting us today, and a special thank you to Jerry and the presentation he's going to give to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rana.
Mayor and members of the City Council, it is always a pleasure to be here today. It makes me kind of miss my days as a staff planner when I got to present on a regular basis to planning commissions and city councils. But anyway,
You'll get over it, Jerry.
I am getting over it. It takes a long time, obviously, but I am getting over it. So, thank you for being here today. I have the. There we go. Again, let me echo Rana's words. Thank you so much for providing us with a home. Thank you so much for allowing Amber Kent to spend some of her time with us and give up some of her office space for our program. We greatly appreciate the time that she's able to spend with us. As Rana mentioned, we have some very, very good news. We received a grant of almost $600,000 from the state of Arizona. It is a one-year grant, so this allows us to scale up the program from the 3 school districts that we're serving now to perhaps as many as 10 school districts, and that of course depends on if the school districts want to move forward with the program. The membership in Read On Arizona, believe it or not, really made this all possible. Read On Arizona brought this grant to us. They found it at the state. They brought it to us. They gathered the information that we presented to them, and we included 2 other programs in this grant, both in Tempe and in Mesa. So they collated everything, brought everything together, and actually made the application. And so it would not have happened without them. It would not have happened without the city's membership in Read On Arizona. So thank you for doing that. And as Rana mentioned, I'll echo her words again that I truly believe that educating students throughout our county is going to be a benefit to the city of Casa Grande, providing you with educated workers for the jobs that are going to be created here. And as we know, the jobs that are being created are going to be jobs, many of them will be jobs that will require an education, will require that the students be able to learn and reason, to program machines, to fix machines when they break. And these are the people that we're trying to educate now, because as we know, 3rd graders are really only about 9 years away from entering the workforce. This is review for some of you, and maybe new for some of you as well. So, and those who were at the Pinnell Alliance meeting have heard the presentation. So. But I do have some extra stuff to add. I do have some stories to add. So our literacy program, it helps students that are up to 1.5 years below grade level in their reading. So it's not designed for kids who are in special education. It's designed for mainstream kids that just need that extra boost to be able to get where they need to be. And one of the stories I have talks about that. Improves the reading ability by the students by building fluency. And fluency is really very simply reading at the pace in which you talk. And that's what we emphasize with them, is reading at the pace in which you talk. And once you're able to do that, then comprehension follows. So you may not really understand all the words that you're reading at first, but comprehension then follows when you are reading at that speed. And fluency then is a strong predictor of the overall reading ability. So we recruit, screen, train, and support our volunteers, 50 years plus, but if you know somebody who's a little bit younger than 50, we can work with that as well. We thought we couldn't, but we've been told by National AARP that sometimes you can use a little flexibility. So again, if you know somebody who's 47 that wants to do it, we can make that work. So students receive 6 months of one-on-one tutoring, and that's 2 one-hour sessions every week. And volunteers tutor 3 to 4 students. We prefer that they tutor 4 if at all possible. The program, the overall program nationwide started in Tempe and started back in 2006. And at this point, they have 12 schools and 1 after-school site with 125 volunteers. Phoenix started their program in 2014, and I started off tutoring in Phoenix, and they have 114 volunteers. Mesa starting their program, I mentioned we work with Mesa on the grant, and they're starting their program this year. So this program, again, is in 4 cities now, and we were the 3rd in the state, so it wasn't Flagstaff, and it wasn't Tucson, it was Pinal County that was the 3rd one in the state. So why do we focus on reading? A truism that really is true is that first children learn to read, then they read to learn. So they need to, no matter what field we're talking, what field of study we're talking about, you really need to be able to read first. Mathematics included, science, you name it. You really need to be able to read first before you can go ahead and learn in those, even in those fields. And being able to read by the end of 3rd grade really is the crucial milestone in a child's future success. So children who cannot read well by the end of 3rd grade are 4 times more likely to leave school without a diploma. They're also prone to engage in behaviors like truancy and aggression. They have behavior issues in class, and I experienced children who were having behavior issues in class because they couldn't read, and they didn't know why they couldn't read. Other kids could. And so they acted out in class to try to hide the fact that they couldn't read. The community benefits of the program, students have greater success in school, they graduate from high school, and so they're more open to post-secondary programs and can qualify for post-secondary programs, and will have a better earning potential and quality of life then throughout their lives. What we're doing here is really, in many circumstances, breaking the cycle of poverty. Often these kids will come from houses where they don't have a lot of resources. The parents don't have time to really spend with their children, teaching them how to read. And hopefully we can break that cycle of poverty and replace it with a cycle of prosperity for the students and then for their eventual families, as Rana was saying. All of you know that we have a bright economic future if we have the workers for the businesses that are locating here. And the good jobs of the future, as I mentioned before, will require reading and analysis skills. I grew up in a manufacturing town. I worked at the factory where they made York air conditioners, and I would work for an entire week on one piece. So I'd had 10,000 orders for one piece. And these days, the machines do that kind of work. The humans really don't have to be very involved in those kind of simple tasks. So the reading goals for the state. The goal for the state is have our 3rd graders reading, or 72% of our 3rd graders reading at grade level. The state currently is at 46%, and Pinal County is about 33%. And when you look at these statistics, keep in mind that, again, being able to read by the end of 3rd grade is the crucial milestone in the future development of our students. We started tutoring we started the program in June of 2020. We began tutoring in November November of 2020, and we did it virtually because, as you remember, we were in the middle of a pandemic at that time. And we had the advantage of never having tutors, so we just switched gears and said, okay, we're just going to do this online. And all the other programs said, well, wait a minute, we only know how to do this in person. And so it was a great advantage to us, and we had a terrific year despite the problems that we had. The superintendent of the school district at that time went around at the end of the year and was just kind of viewing these tutoring sessions. And one of the things that she noticed was the connection that had been made between the tutor and the student, even online, even with the fact that they had never met in person. They still created a bond, and that bond really is what helps to drive learning with these students. So we just finished up our third year. We are in 3 districts with 167 students, and you can see the stats there. Of course, Casa Grande Elementary is the largest of the 3. So, as Rhonda mentioned, we have tutored 426 students over the past 3 years. And keep in mind that these are, again, students that receive 6 months of one-on-one attention, and being given the gift of being able to read. 73% of our students progressed a grade level, one entire grade level, last year. Compare that to nationwide throughout the AARP program, where 62% progress about 1/2 grade level. So we progressed 1 grade level, they progressed 1/2 grade level. So we're doing literally over twice as well as the national averages here. And this is a chance for me to share a couple stories with you. I had a student a couple years back who was having behavior issues in class. And so she actually hid in the bathroom. As opposed to coming to our session, she hid in the bathroom. Again, she knew she couldn't read. She didn't know why she couldn't read. So she was a second grader, starting off in second grade. And she started off at 6 words per minute. And so she started off reading like tap and pat. And at the end of the school year, she was reading 75 words per minute. And as a matter of fact, while I was reading to her, we have fun reading at the end of our sessions. While I was reading to her, she was writing out a story. She wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. She was writing out a story, and she would ask me, how do I spell this word? How do I spell that word? And she had a great imagination. She told me one time that she was the daughter of the principal, and that she didn't need to do the things I was asking her to do. So she had a great imagination, and I think she's going to go very, very far. One other story very quickly. Last year, one of the students started in December, and so only had 3/4 of the year with us. And at the end of the year, her teacher asked her to read to her, and the teacher's thought, she didn't say this to the student, but she thought, and she told me later, who are you, is what she was thinking, because the student had progressed that much in that little time between December and April. So proof, both the stats and the stories tell the tale of the success of this program. And the reward we get for tutoring is that bond that you create. It's an amazing the things they say to you, the things they give you like this. This student wishes that her tutor was her grandma. I don't think there's any higher praise than that. Nothing I can think of anyway. So I've received a couple of these as well. So our goal again for this school year is to add 7 school districts. We already have Eloy lined up, and we are meeting with other school districts over this week to try to get them lined up in the program. Our stretch goal by the end of the decade, which I guess is actually 31 is actually the end of the decade, would be to offer the program to all the districts in Pinal County. So again, that is a stretch goal for us. Funding the rural model. Most programs have a large city or school district to finance it. For example, Tempe, they have 3 staff people, City of Tempe staff people that work full time on their reading program up in the city of Tempe, and that's something that of course smaller cities just can't afford to do. Their cities, the county, you guys certainly do your part, but you just don't have the ability to fund a program in that way. So our program funding, we are looking to get 80% of our funding from grants, donations, and events, and 20% of it coming from school districts, municipalities, and supervisor districts in Pinal County. So even with the size of this grant, we still are looking for the contributions from the municipalities and from the school districts. So our request for you is to continue the financial support, $7,500 a year. Help us, if you know anybody who might want to volunteer for this, please let me know anybody who might serve. Donna's already found somebody for us, so we appreciate that. We also have a director position open, and we're going to be interviewing this week. But if you know somebody, if somebody comes to mind, you think that they would be a great director for the program, please let us know who they may be. And with that, again, thank you for this time, and we appreciate everything you're doing for us. Thank you very much. Any questions for me today?
Thank you, Jerry. I did have one question. I know I saw the school district, so is it going to be a total of 10 school districts then? You're in 3 now?
We're offering it to 10 school districts. We don't know if all 10 will accept the program, but that.
And then in Casa Grande itself, in our elementary school district, are all the schools participating?
Not all of them yet, and that's our hope, is to expand that as well. It's really just a matter of finding volunteers. If we can find more volunteers, we can serve more schools. But yes, our goal would be to serve. We purposely went to those schools that had the higher percentage of students who needed our help. That's where we started, and we'll do that with all districts.
School district helped you find those particular
yes,
schools and needs?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we have very close relationships with all our school districts, helping us identify those schools that have the greatest need, and then those students that really fit within our parameters as well.
Okay. Mr. Lavender?
Jerry, I want to thank you and your team for doing that. Ruby Payne talks about in her book, A Framework for Understanding Poverty, that no significant learning takes place without a significant relationship, and that's what you've described as the relationship that's formed. That's why you're getting the results. And so much thanks to all of the volunteers. I hope sometime maybe the volunteers could come here and we could recognize them as well. I think we have some ways that we could do that.
Yeah, maybe at the end of the school year. I know we did an appreciation thing. We've done it a couple times.
Yes.
We could always do it at council meeting.
Wow, yes, because we've had an appreciation lunch that the mayor attended, and thanked them all individually. That was very cool. And so, yes, let's think about that. That's a great idea.
Okay. Donna?
Just a question, Jerry. When we're talking about the schools and if you had more volunteers, is there any kind of a matrix of sort that you have, how many volunteers you need for each of the schools if we were to expand that? Is there a way to figure that out so that maybe we can, in those neighborhoods, we can really focus on the volunteers for those schools?
We don't have anything in particular because it's kind of an iterative process of working with the school district, so we don't really know how many students in each of those areas could best benefit from our help. But I could send you those schools that we aren't serving yet in Casa Grande, and if we want to focus on those areas and find more tutors. Yes, yes, we can do that. Yes, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Jerry, thank you again. Thank you to the volunteers. Thank you, Rana, for all the work that you put in Pinal Alliance for Economic Growth as the Achieve Pinal section of that group. So I know there's a lot of work goes into it. I've seen in behind the scenes, and you guys do put a lot of time into it, and appreciate it. And I think the results are amazing. So keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir.
Again, thank the volunteers for us.
I will.
All right, thank you. All right, well, that's the first part of our study session. The second part is the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Sun Corridor. Fortunately, these are two of my favorite subjects, the reading one and the Boys and Girls Club, so I can't go wrong tonight. So, the night is young, thanks, Matt. But there's not much on the agenda, so that's the good news. So, yeah, tonight, the next group is the Boys and Girls Club of Sun Corridor and Mr. Matt Lemberg, who is the executive director. Matt, welcome. I'm your favorite board member, right? Council member and board member?
Just say yes.
Yeah.
Just say yes, Matt.
Who was board president when you were hired? This is
all the
called a pregnant
questions-
pause, Matt.
Of
It's a
all the
pregnant pause.
questions that I thought might throw me off, that was not the one I was expecting. So, my goodness, Mayor McFarland, Mayor Pro Tem Lavender, rest of council, City Manager Raines, thank you for giving me the opportunity to present tonight. Always enjoy being able to come and talk about our successes and thank our supporters. And so that's certainly what I'm going to spend a lot of time doing tonight. But before I start, I want to address a concern or two that you may have, and I got made fun of this last time I was here. I am wearing a tie, and as many of you know, when I'm wearing a tie, I'm asking someone for money. And that ask already happened today, so that's not part of my notes. So you can rest easy in that. And so, exactly. But don't do that yet, because the second one. But secondly, since I've been here last, two of you, or one of you here, and Councilman Fitzgibbons, were celebrity dancers in our Dancing for Our Stars event. And I promise you that I will not be asking any of you tonight to be one of those dancers, but it may be coming at a later date. So, all kidding aside, just as it was for every other individual, family, and organization, the last number of years have been very challenging for our organization. Very proud of the fact as we look back that we were open throughout the first 16 months of the pandemic and every day after that, and just really at such an unprecedented time, our organization was able to stay open and serve young people. Going into the pandemic, we had never operated more than one all-day program, and at the height of the pandemic, we were operating 4. For the last 3 months of the 1920 school year and the entirety of the 2021 school year, alternated between our regular after-school programming and running virtual learning labs as our district partners went back and forth. As I mentioned that, would like to take a moment to publicly recognize our staff and our board, and many of them are here tonight, including my favorite board member, Mayor McFarland, apparently. On many days, our staff asked themselves, how are we going to get through today? And at one board meeting in particular, I remember a comment being made, we don't know how we're going to pay for this, but it's what our kids need, and so we're going to do it. And so just with those two groups, our success is due to them, and just want to publicly thank them for supporting our organization, supporting me in my role with the organization, so thank you. So I look back at the last 3 years, City of Casa Grande has been a huge piece of one of the main changes that has impacted how our organization operates today. And as you will all recall, we executed a program swap in the summer of 2021 where City of Casa Grande Community Services Department took over the Youth Soccer League, and we took over operations of Lincola Recreation Center. I am saddened to report that as a glutton for punishment, I am still coaching 2 soccer teams in that league, and couldn't get away from it entirely. So it's been fun.
And tennis.
And yeah, well, that's a different story. But yes, and tennis. In year 1, we closed Lincola and underwent a small renovation project, and we are excited to show that off to all of you hopefully soon. And we operated a temporary program at Palo Verde Elementary School for that school year and that summer. We reopened the building at the beginning of the 2022 school year and have operated that building every day since. And as you may remember, as part of that agreement, we committed to not charging Palo Verde students any program fees for the first 3 years of that partnership. We are currently in year 3, and we are having internal discussions on how to continue that dynamic moving forward. As an organizational overview, just because it's been a while since I've spoke, we currently have 5 clubs in Casa Grande: Ironwood Branch, Lincola Branch, McCartney Ranch Branch, Napa Lawrence Branch, and the Lounge. Currently have 700 registered members in Casa Grande, and our average daily attendance at those 5 clubs is 375. 110 of these members are at Lincola, and our average daily attendance there is about 60. So I've continued to grow that program in the 3 years that we've been there. As we've gotten good at adapting and changing throughout the pandemic, we were more than ready to change our operational model last year when Casa Grande Elementary School District went to a 4-day school week. And so for the last year and then this year, we operate 5 after-school programs Monday through Thursday, and then 1 after-school program on Friday at the lounge at Vista Grande, plus our 2 all-day programs, and that's been a great help to families in our community. Each of our clubs, our goal is to provide a world-class club experience that puts all club members on track to graduate from high school with a plan for the future, demonstrating good character and citizenship and living a healthy lifestyle. And certainly just to tag team on what Jerry mentioned and what you guys, when Boys and Girls Clubs of America has surveyed former club members, 90% of them is what they recall is the relationship with caring staff. And so you're absolutely right. The relationship with caring adults is what is the main piece of our engine. To the end, though, of what we were trying to accomplish, we are starting to run our targeted programs at all of our clubs now that we're a few weeks into the school. These programs include Care Camp, which is a guitar program, Power Hour, which is a homework help and tutoring program, and Smart Moves, which is a prevention program. We believe that we are uniquely positioned to help these young people succeed both today and in the future. And so as I end my presentation tonight, this might be the shortest presentation I've ever given, Larry, so some pat on the back for that. Oh, I'll talk for 40 minutes if that's, I could, I'm a pastor's kid, as we all know, I can figure that out. That's right, amen, right? As I end my presentation tonight, I want to thank you all as a collective and as individuals for supporting our organization. We're able to serve the youth of our community because of the partnerships with individuals and organizations like you. We just celebrated our 25th birthday last week, and as part of our celebration, we partnered with State 48 to create commemorative celebrating 25 years t-shirts. And so we would like to, as a token of our appreciation, offer each of you one of those shirts. These are the first batch that I've given out. Our board members and staff don't even have these shirts yet, so they're looking at me with daggers in their eyes. But after this, if you'd like, we'd love to give you one of our shirts, and we hope that you all wear it proudly as a symbol of your part of our partnership and what these two organizations have done over the last 25 years. So thank you for your continued support. We are a better community, we believe, because of our relationship with this group. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. And I want to thank the board also for being here. It's good to see so many of you here in support of Matt and the organization. Always, I think the organization's as strong as it is because it has a strong board. So, Matt, a long time ago, I think you probably have this tattooed on your arm somewhere. And you said it earlier tonight, and it's a quote that I used all the time, is how are we going to pay for this?
That's right.
But we've made it.
Yeah.
And I think you've done an excellent job. So congratulations to the board and to the organization.
Sure.
It is one of the strongest, I think, a lot of volunteer time and certainly a lot of volunteer efforts to raise money for the clubs and for our kids. And it's, in my opinion, as a board member and as a council member, probably some of the best time I've spent in terms of something for our community. So thank you for everything that you all do.
So thank you for that, and thank you for being involved.
Somebody else want to go? Well, Matt, I can say without the hesitation that you said that you are my favorite Boys and Girls Club executive director.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
And you talked about the growth of the club, but the growth of you has been remarkable as well. I remember as a college student when you didn't comb your hair and you used to show up to basketball with your hair all over the place.
Perfect. Thank you.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
He does comb it now.
Perfect.
Or the year you went without shaving.
That's right.
But you have truly grown into this position and have done an amazing job with everything you've done. I knew the day they hired you that was the absolute best choice because you know our community. You know how to connect with the students of this community. You know how to come in present to a board. You make fun of yourself, but at the same time, you're serious.
Sure.
And we're here to support you in any way possible. I know your dad and mom are so proud of you for what you do, but I know this community is also proud of you. And so you're doing a great job. So congratulations on all of your success. But I do have a serious question for you to get you out of the trouble you're in with your board.
Right.
Who's a better dancer, the mayor or his daughter?
Kelly.
He just got you out of it.
So the loaded part of this question is that Mayor McFarland's partner was my wife. And so there's a little
Oh, I didn't say your wife was a bad dancer.
No, but I will hear it when I get home if I didn't answer this correctly. So they both did. really
Without
well.
her, I would have been, 4
It was
left
fun.
feet, so.
It was fun. Thank you, sir.
Good,
That's
good,
if
Donna.
I've done one thing well, it's surrounding myself with good people. And so it's definitely a we, but thank you.
Donna, go ahead.
Well, Matt, when you took over, I remember you meeting with me, and I had just finished 20 years of national nonprofit service. And I remember sitting in that office, and you had this dazed look on your face of what have I gotten into?
Sure.
And I will never forget that conversation because I saw in you where I had been 20 years before. And it's so important for people to understand that nonprofits are truly a business. You have to have the business plan, you have to have a board, all those things, just like we run a city, that's what you're doing. You're running the mini city of Casa Grande. And I can't tell you how proud I am to see such development, not just for you, but the board, but the program. I mean, 25 years is a long time to survive in the nonprofit world, but you've made that work. And the reason you've done that is because you've had good people behind you. And our kids are better for it, and our community is better for it. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you as well, and also to the board and all your staff. Y'all doing a wonderful job. I was sitting there thinking when you kept mentioning Lynn Cola. Lynn Cola was one of my teachers. And I remember when they changed that name of that, Boys and Girls, it's Lynn Cola Boys and Girls Club. I'm so thankful they kept that, Lynn Cola.
Yes, sir.
I actually used to go there all the time. I live on Fifth Street. So I was raised up there. So I would leave Palo Verde Elementary School and go and stay at Lynn Cola until later on into the evening. So thankful for what we've done. I sit on the Boys and Girls Club. I was honorary chairman for many, many years. Used to have a lot of the football team, the Arizona Cardinals, come in, have a golf tournament to help raise funds for that. Maybe we need to get back to doing something like that.
Yes, you do.
And so just so thankful for all that y'all do for our youth in our community. We got to continue to do the best that we can possibly do to help them because it's getting worse.
Sure.
But we can do it,
Yeah. You're welcome.
whatever the cost.
Thank you.
Thank you. Matt, go ahead.
Young Matt.
Nice,
Bit of
Matt.
a joke, 'cause,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm the oldest person that Matt went to high school with,
that's a true statement.
is what he says. But in all seriousness, just the amount of contribution the club has made to this city, to our youth, over 25 years is amazing. I remember I wasn't there quite at the beginning, but Bill Bridwell and a bunch of other people got together and said, we're going to turn this gym into it. And it was way back then, how are we going to pay for it?
Yeah.
And it's taken a lot of clubs in this town, a lot of support from the city, a lot of support from volunteers, from people. And I will say that, we went through some stuff, and you can answer this one, because there's only one. Who was the president of the board when you were hired?
Matt Herman.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that was loaded. That was loaded.
There's only one answer to that one, but I still look back on that as this younger guy that was running our soccer. I think that's why you were hired, right, to run the soccer program, essentially. Got that, and there was a lot of stuff going on in the club at that time from past stuff, and Matt Lindberg has the integrity, and he stood up and he made it right, and we wouldn't be where we are today without Matt. I mean, and of course the board. I mean, you've had some tremendous boards, a lot of board members in this town, a lot of support from the community, but just what the kids get out of it. I mean, and how big. Can't imagine just our one branch at the at the old gym, and now look at it. So great job to you and your board, everything. I did have a question in seriousness. When you do the full day Friday programs now, can you accommodate everyone that needs it still, or?
We haven't seen as much interest as we thought, and I think part of that is just post-COVID, people have kind of maneuvered, some work schedules and staying at home and stuff. And so we've not had a waiting list on Fridays yet.
I think it's getting the kids there too.
Sure. There are a
'Cause
couple
during
different
the-
challenges.
During the regular week, we have the.
Well, of course, the
you know,
elementary school.
Elementary
Yeah.
school
Been
busing
a big
them
partner
there.
forever too, busing,
So that,
busing the kids.
transportation can be a problem.
But yeah, I
So
mean,
to this point, yes, I would love to serve more always, but yeah.
I
there's
don't
one
want to
rise.
heap too much praise on you,
You're
but
good.
I mean,
Don't.
you do deserve it, but the board behind you, and I see some of them out there, and there's been a lot of people, again, and just a great job for keeping it going. When we hired you, I knew you were the one because you were from Casa Grande, you understood the community, and you're committed to the community, so
Sure.
thanks again.
Thank you.
How many years ago was that?
I just hit 20
20, that's
with the
what I thought.
organization a couple
Wow.
of months ago.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
guys.
you, thank you, Matt. Again,
Appreciate it.
thanks to the board and staff. There's some staff here too, so thank you guys for being here and all that you do. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Really to both, that's for both programs. We really appreciate, Jerry, your efforts as well, so thank you very much. All right, we'll stand adjourned until 7 o'clock. Thank you, everybody. And do I get 2 T-shirts since I'm a council member and a board member?
No.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's city council meeting on this August 21st, 7 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. Thanks, Matt. First item on our agenda is our invocation, our Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight we have Pastor and Council Member Anthony Edwards to lead us in our invocation. And please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Father God, we come to you, Lord. We want to thank you, Lord, for life, health, and strength. We thank you, Lord, for another opportunity that we can come together as a city council and staff, Father, that we can come together and reason together. We pray, Father, that you be in the midst of us, Father, that as we make wise and sound decisions, Father, as we look for what's best for our community. For, Father, without you, we're nothing. But we thank you, Lord, for all that you've done in our lives, all that you're going to do, and the things that you're doing right now that we don't see, nor do we realize or recognize that it is you. And we'll forever give you the praise, forever give you the glory, the honor. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank God. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me for the pledge.
Thank you, Anthony, and thank you, Mr. Lavender. Let the roll call show that all members are present except for one, and I think she has an excused absence, so I'd entertain a motion to excuse Lisa.
Second?
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Roll call show that Lisa's excused. The rest of us are here.
So noted.
Minutes, item C.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the approval of the council regular meeting minutes of August 7th, the Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting minutes of July 6th, the Arts and Humanities Commission regular meeting minutes of July 11th, the Fire Personnel Retirement Board regular meeting minutes of January 25th, the Police Personnel Retirement Board regular meeting minutes of May 10th, and the Historical Preservation Commission meeting minutes of April 28th.
23rd.
Yes, 23rd, excuse me.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, minutes are approved as presented. Claims against the city, item D.
Mayor McFarland, I move to accept and pay the claims dated August 2nd through 15th, 2023 as presented.
Second.
All right, a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, the claims are approved. Next is item E, which is our meeting agenda approval. Is there any changes to the agenda, Mr. Raines?
We have no changes, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone on council want to change anything? All right, seeing none, then I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, the agenda is approved as presented. We have no special presentations tonight. Consent agenda items. All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine matters and will be enacted by one motion, one roll call vote of the council. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or member of the public so requests, in which event the item will be pulled from the consent agenda and considered in the normal sequence of the agenda. So, is there anyone who would like to pull anything off the consent agenda? Anyone from the public? Okay, seeing none, then I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Mayor McFarland, I would move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, next is item H. This is our public comments. This is an opportunity for anyone in the public who would like to speak to the council to please approach the podium, and we'll give you 3 minutes to address the council. Please state your name and your address for the records, And remember, it's not an agenda item, so we can't speak about it. But we can listen. Anyone? All right, seeing no one jump up, then I'm going to close the public comments and move to I-1, award of contracts. Public Works.
Thank you. Staff recommends the mayor and city council authorize the city manager to execute a construction services contract between the city of Casa Grande and American Road Maintenance Incorporated for the amount not to exceed $199,432 of the project budget authority to provide construction services on runway 0523 and connector taxiways rehabilitation project. Staff also requests authorization to execute contract documents, disperse funds, and perform necessary budget transfers. City Council authorized staff to apply for and received an ADOT Aeronautics grant to complete a pavement rehabilitation project, and authorized the total budget not to exceed $725,000 through resolution number 5299. Staff has accepted the reimbursable grant, completed design and bidding with CNS Engineers through resolution 5388, and we are ready to move into construction phase of the project. The city of Casa Grande solicited a bid for construction services and received 3 bids on February 23rd. Based on our review of the bid documents, it was recommended by our consultant and approved by ADOT to award the construction services contract to American Road Maintenance of Tucson, Arizona. American Road Maintenance will complete the construction portion of the runway and connector taxiway. The project consists of constructing the surface treatment for the runway and its connector taxiways. Additionally, CNS Engineers has been awarded a contract through Resolution 5389 to provide construction administration services, including construction management on this project. City of Casa Grande accepted a reimbursable grant for the total project cost of $725,000, which is 100% ADOT funded. There is no match for the apportionment to the city and the administration of this project. So with that, is there any questions?
Any questions from the council? All right, thank you, Dwayne. All right, seeing no questions, then I will call for an ordinance number, please, Gloria.
Ordinance number 3387, an ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting a bid from American Road Maintenance, Inc. for the construction of runway 05-23 and the connector taxiway rehabilitation project for the city, for the Casa Grande Municipal Airport, authorizing expenditure of public funds, authorizing the execution of a contract, and authorizing the transfer of budget authority.
Mayor McFarland, I move approval of ordinance number 3387 as presented.
Second?
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, next item is I-2. You don't want to go outside right now anyway. This is considering resolution number 5564. Chief?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council, how you guys doing? I'm here to talk to you about doing an amendment to our current Image Trend contract that we already have. For reference, Image Trend is the software program that's on our electronic tablets that we use in the field for typing in all the information on a medical call. We're going to be amending that contract and adding a module. The module that we're adding is billing software. It's to provide the billing for the CON program. I'm not asking you for any funds or money. There's no money to be expended on this. They're going to add the module. And what happens on this initially is we'll pay a flat fee on the only on the bills that are collected. So for example, if they don't collect anything, we don't pay. We'll pay them $25 on collected bills that they actually collect money on. It's really just a simple software change, and it'll be pretty, you won't even notice, there won't be really any difference, and we don't have to do anything. Over the next 6 to 8 weeks, we've already prepared and got it all ready. It takes about 6 weeks for them to finalize and turn it on, so this is all in preparation for the CON. With that,
The ambulance CON.
the ambulance CON, yes, sir. With that, do you guys have any questions for me?
Is that pretty normal, Chief? Is there
It
other-
depends. It depends on the jurisdiction. Some jurisdictions bring it in-house and have their own finance department do it. It's pretty specialized, and you tend to do better and collect at a higher rate if you have experts doing it, and they're experts at doing it. And we actually went and visited with numerous agencies in the valley and down south that are using it, and they've been very happy with them. And we've been very happy with them as well, with the program on our EPCR tablet, so it was kind of a natural progression for us.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? All right, seeing none, thank you, Chief. Seeing none, I'll call for a resolution number, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5564, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, approving amendment number 1 to the city's contract with Image Trend, Inc. for software licensing services, authorizing expenditure of public funds, and authorizing execution of an amendment to the contract with Image Trend, Inc.
Mayor McFarland, move to approve resolution number 5564 as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, that is pretty much it, other than reports. So we'll move to item N for reports. And Bob?
No report, Mayor.
All right, Mr. Lavender?
Yes, sir. Just a reminder, on September 9th is the day of service that the community group is working on. There was an article, I think it was last week in the newspaper about, you have it. Are you going to talk about it, sir?
No, nope, I'm handing it to you.
Cleaning out at CG Mountain from 7 to 11 o'clock, so we hope to see as many people as possible out there. Chief Keen, I also want to congratulate you on your leadership and your success in the courtroom on the ambulance CON.
Yeah,
You had
excellent.
tremendous leadership there and a vision and it's going to really benefit our community, so congratulations, Chief. And also, Casa Grande Union is excited that on September 7th and 8th, Rudy Rudiger, who is the famed Notre Dame football player that they did the movie Rudy after, will be in town speaking to students, talking to our football team, and then we'll be hosting a special meet and greet for him the morning of September 8th at 7:30. And Larry, I'll be sending an invitation to you to send out the city staff or anybody that'd like to come out on that morning and meet Rudy. And so we're excited to have him in town.
Great. Thank you, Jeff.
Matt? Speaking of the day of service, the Youth Commission, we had our meeting on Saturday, and they're gonna be parking cars at 5:45 a.m. So they're excited about meeting early at the mountain on Saturday.
I'll bet they are.
I may have had to bribe them with burritos or something, but they'll be there.
Donna?
Just so we have we have a fly-in and breakfast out at the airport Saturday, so everybody come out and enjoy that. That's it.
And art show too, right?
Art show too.
Go ahead, Anthony.
I'm good.
You're good? You guys are easy. Just a quick reminder, the Mayor's Reading Club, we're looking for volunteers, so please sign up now. You can go to casagrandeaz.gov/library, and you can sign up for the program. We need as many readers as we possibly can. And then just a kind of a quick update on single-family building permits. The city of Casa Grande in July issued 84 building permits, so it's been really consistent really since February. 65, 61, 76, 85, 74, 84. So come back fairly consistent, and so some good numbers in that area. And I think that's all I've got. So, well, the bookmobile was in the paper. Thank you, Jody. It was a nice article in the paper about the bookmobile and our library. New addition to the city. It's it still needs some books and some things to fill it up, but you should start to see that out at some special events. We're going to show it off at a couple things, our safety event, and you'll get a chance to look inside. It's pretty cool. It's probably saved the city $120,000 on a bus. We bought it used, but it's in beautiful shape. So, anything else for anybody? All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for all being here. Don't get too wet out there. I don't know if I stalled long enough to keep you dry, but good night.